Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name's Tammy. I'm getting ready for a craft show. That's right, in 5 days I have my first show of 2024. So guys, I've shared several times with you how I get ready for a craft show, or how I set up my booth space, or how I keep track of inventory and all of that good stuff. So I thought that I would do this again, but I'll try to answer some questions along the way. I'm also going to share with you a resource I have for coming up with your booth space and just getting ready with me. This may be a little bit more of a longer video than normal, but you can maybe skip ahead to the things that are important or interesting to you. I do get asked quite often, how do you know how many of any one item to take, or how much soap to take? I'm trying not to do the cop-out, it depends, but it really does depend, guys. The location where you're at, how much foot traffic do you expect at the show, how much inventory do you have? When I first started, I literally took every single thing in my inventory to shows. I mean, that first year, I took everything I had to a show. I didn't know. I didn't have the inventory I have now, and I didn't have the variety of items that I have now, but I just took everything. I had no idea. And until you start doing shows a little bit more often, and until you go back to the same shows every year, that may be you as well. If at this point in my business, I go to an untested, unknown show, I will usually be pretty aggressive with what I take, because I don't want to take too little, but I have very much been known to take too much. I have this running joke with my husband when we're packing up the car. I was like, don't worry, honey, none of this is coming back. Every time I say it. And every time he goes, nope, not a one is coming back. He's so encouraging. I tend to take anywhere from 10 to 16, 17 bars of soap for each scent. I have a good number of soaps that I take though. I try to limit myself to 14 scents. It never happens, guys. I always take like a whole bunch more. For me, creams, I will take 3 of my big ones and 3 of my medium ones, and I'm selling my small ones now at shows, so I take 3 of those. And it's just easy. What I have found is just making it easy on taking those counts makes my life easier when I'm trying to do my end of the show counting. If I know I've taken 3 of every single size of every single cream, I know at the end of the show when I'm doing my counts, I know at a glance I've sold 2, or I've sold 1, or I didn't sell any of any particular size. So I like doing it that way. I do the same thing with my scrubs, my face products. I take 3 usually of every scent of any one product. It's just easy for me. Shampoo bars have been quite popular lately, so I've upped those to 5, and I take 5 of every scent. It's just a trial and error on how much to bring. I know I'm on this long rabbit trail, but you don't know until you know, and it's nothing anybody is going to be able to tell you what to do. It's just going to be experience. I hate to say it, but this morning went through and I printed off and created the labels that I do for my soaps. I get my handy cutter out, and then I will tape it to my box. So this is my box. I like this because I store my soaps in these boxes, I transport them to shows in the boxes, and I display the soaps in these boxes. I have tried to get away from the boxes a couple times, and if I can find some footage, I'll show you. If I can't, I may do a quasi video of what I've tried in the past. At one time, I had them set up like this. Like the spacing was a little bit better, but that's how I tried to display them. It didn't really work out for me. I liked that I could get a lot of soaps in one tote. These boxes take, 4 or 5 of these crates. It made transporting them easier, but I don't think they sold as well. Next, I tried this setup with the trays. I got those at Amazon. People were thinking these were wax melts when I was doing this, so I went back to the boxes. Those didn't work. This works for me, and I can very large print out what is in this box. So this is Indian sandalwood. This is like 20 bars in here. I won't take this many, but I'm storing them in here. I have a spa salt bar made with Himalayan salts for extra exfoliation, soothing and scented, made with aloe, oats, calendula infused olive oil. So if there's anything that's interesting or something I want to point out, I put them on my cards. And if I don't have anything special to say, I just put artisan soap. I don't know what else to say. It's soap, guys. So I went through and I printed those off, and I just used cardstock. I did a couple of my face products that are new. I printed off the prices for those because I do have prices on everything. I'll show you a couple of those. Hang on. But this is just a folder that I have all of my labels in. Lots of labels, guys. I do have to go through all of these. Make sure they look okay. If they're too janky, dirty, smudged, wrinkled, or whatever, I will reprint them. I have a lot to do, actually. One of the other things I want to do is go through all of my sample pots and make sure that they are still decent. Because they're open all day, multiple days, they start getting a bit of a film on them and they start drying out. So I may need to refill some of those tester pots. So I need to check that this weekend as well. Then I'm going to be starting my counts. I've shown you my counts before, guys, so I'm not really going to show you that. Here's my Google sheet I made. I do have listed just about everything I have in my inventory here. And I do have the prices that I'm charging for them. I created this sheet and I just update every show. I will fill this out with however many of every single thing I'm taking, and I will count at the end and see what's left. And then that comes back to me and I input that in my software. Let me show you another thing that I'm doing this year that's different. I am really struggling with keeping track of inventory. I try so hard to keep up on it. But there were 2 times in the last 6 weeks I sold a bar of soap on my website that I had already sold at work. I'm going to have to figure this out. And I'm a little bit worried about, especially this first show of the year, because this is over 2 weekends and I leave my products there. So if I sell something on next Monday and it's there, I'm waiting 5 days before I can get it to pack it up if it's my last one. Or I sell out there and I don't take it off my website and I'm back into where I'm selling products I don't have any inventory for. But what I think I'm going to do, if I come in here into the back end of this bath bomb powder, I do have the ability to take it away from one inventory bank and put it in another. So I have an inventory called craft shows. So I am going to be moving my inventory that I am taking to this craft show, and I'm going to put it over into the craft show location. And that way, that is no longer going to be available to purchase on my website. So I may lose sales, and that's the reason I fought that, is because if I only have 2 items and I take it to the show and I take it off my website, I'm not selling them. And then I run the risk of not selling them at the craft show. So that's why I never did it before. But I'm really hoping that this will keep me from selling something that online that I no longer have in stock. That was a very long way of saying it. I'll try to cut some of that out. We'll see if it works. Hey guys, it is the night of my first show. So I spent this week mostly just packing and counting. And every night I'd come home and I'd pack and I'd count. it just took me all week to do this. And moving products on the back end of the Shopify site from my home base to my craft show location, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. And I'm not sure that there's going to be an easy way to transfer those products back into the website inventory when I'm done. Probably not. I think in the long run, more work, yes, but less maybe frustration, especially for a customer, you know, that has bought a bar of soap that I've sold. So let's talk about booth space, guys. I have almost always done some sort of L shape. Now, it could be a table like this, where there's customers on either side if I'm on a corner. It could be an L like this, where they come in to shop. I bought a display stand or whatever, a rack, that folds up nicely. I have more of trouble doing the L shape, but I still can get it done. I'll show you a couple pictures here of some of my booth space where I have had this rack and I've still been able to get that L in. I like being behind a table. I kind of like that separation. I feel like maybe it makes customers a little bit more comfortable coming into my space. And today I tried a different booth setup, and I thought I would share with you how I came up with this new booth space. Planyourroom.com. My space is a 10 by 10. So I'm going to change this to 120, but I'm just going to drag it. And then I'm going to go down here and drag this. And then go up. So I'm just changing this box, or this is a room, to 120 by 120. You can choose like home office. That's kind of what I usually do, just because they have like rectangle things. So I'm going to add this thing here. I have a 6-foot table. I have an 8-foot table. I have a 3-foot, the big case, and I have a 3-foot by, I think it's only like 12 or 14 inches deep. It's where I put my bath bombs now. So I'm going to put all of those things in this box, and I'm going to change my dimensions to, and then I'm going to add another thing. So I have all of my pieces. Oh, I forgot my chair. So I do a, let's see. I just need like a bar stool. That'll be good enough. That's just a chair. I'm going to give myself a 2-foot chair. And then on the side here, I also have a 4-foot table that I use for just my stuff. Sometimes I have room for that and sometimes I don't. I'm going to put it over here to the side just in case. So here's my space. I have all of my components that I need to fit into this 10 by 10 space. And it's just a visual of, okay, what can we do? So normally I would do something like this. I would put my L shape here. This is my little bath bomb thing. That's going to go right here. And then this is my big tall case. I've been putting that like here. So I've been doing some sort of something or other like this. If I have really a lot of openness where I am not having to use this as my walkway, you know how sometimes you can kind of like sneak out the back, or if there's kind of a lot of space next to your neighbor, you can kind of sneak out there when you want to go to the bathroom or something. I could do this and give myself plenty of space in the back for all kinds of tables and chairs. Like this was how I was at Covered Bridge, I believe. And this was tight. I didn't have 2 feet. I barely had enough room to sit behind this table here. I thought I wanted to change this up a little bit and do something a little bit different. My bath bombs are always on the end. Gonna happen. That's where the kids are. That's where the bath bombs are. I also lose a lot of space right here in this L. This is a lot of wasted space. So this is kind of how I thought I might try this time. I totally came out of my comfort zone And I put me here. And then this right here. So it's a little bit tighter than what this is showing, because this is right up against that. Something like that. This is my new space, and I drew this space out on this planyourroom.com. I just play around with it, and I'm pretty exposed, actually, right here in the corner. Tucked away a little bit, but I am not behind a table. And that's not something I've ever really done before. But I wanted to show you this Play in Your Room. I think it's a really great visual of, okay, here's my space. These are the sizes of the tables, and you can just kind of play around with it. Now, I am a corner. I don't really care about the corner anymore. When I got that rack, that changed the corner game for me completely. I wanted people to walk into my space to look at the rack. Not because I was scared of people stealing, which, I mean, they could have, but engagement. I want them to come in and engage with me so that I can sell my stuff. I really like this. It always changes a little bit. I actually set my booth space up this way. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna take the camera and the tripod, and I'm gonna show you what this looks like. So I'm going to just take you around my booth and show you, but first things first, I am going to give you like a far view so you can just see the whole booth in one sweep, and then we'll look at everything kind of piecemeal. There is my booth from the aisleway. Okay, so on this side is my 8-foot table. I do have these crates I got from Walmart and stained them, just those big crates. And I have a lot of my soaps that I don't have many left. And I normally don't have this many, probably maybe 3 to 5 of these usually, but this spring I just have a lot of them. I normally don't have them stacked on top of these crates like this, but that's what I've got going now. Up here, I started a video loop, and it just loops my dishwashing. So if you have something that you want to highlight, bath bomb making would be fun. You can loop it and just have it playing the whole time. I just have my old iPad, and it just plays constantly, and I have sold some of my dish soaps with that. There's my soaps with all my boxes. I also try to stick with the 14 to 16, and I have too many. And I actually have a box down underneath the table, and I may take another box off today to make this less crowded and fewer choices for people. A close-up of my box here. I want to show you how I display these. I like to have one with the label up and one with the design up, and then I like to have the two over here to show the tops. Because we work hard on those guys, right? So I want to show them off. So that's how I like to put them in the box when they're on my table. On this end of the table, I created this shampoo bar sign. I bought this like stand from Amazon so that it stands up nice. I have another one, but I stepped on it. And my Soap of the Month Club was in my other one. But again, I ruined it. So there's a little light. There's my lip balms. Now normally I have my lip balms where this box is, and that's why I'm thinking I may just need to bring some of these under the table and bring those back down. But here's my rack, and I will try to find a picture of my rack before we did this. I am in love. So my son Chase came up with the idea, because I have these bags, and they were not wanting to stay steady or stand up. They were falling over. Every time somebody would try to grab one, the next one next to it would fall over. And he said, "Mom, just get some pegboard." So I bought French cleats, and my husband put the French cleat on the top of the pegboard and the top of the rack, and it just lifts off when we're done. And this rack folds up to whatever this side is. It folds up to that wide. I love it. So there's my wax melts. And then because I have that, I have more shelving down below. So I just moved all my shelves down. So I have my candles, room sprays, some sale wax melts, and some clearance items. I love that. And then my car diffusers, I need some sort of lighting back here. And it looks darker on camera than it actually is. I feel like my car diffuser sign here is too small. These are the hot ticket items yesterday. So I created a much bigger car diffuser sign and a bigger wax melt sign, and I'm gonna try to kind of rearrange something so I can get bigger signs showing what is on this rack. Now on here is my 6-foot table. So I have this little stand here I got from At Home. It's kind of crowded. I'm not in love with it. I don't have room for all my signs underneath my products. This thing, I got that at Home. It's kind of janky. It's not very, quality, but that's where all my creams are, which I forgot to get batteries, so I don't have the lights underneath all my shelving units. Same thing with my rack. I have lights under each shelf that I forgot to replace the batteries. So my scrubs are on top. My creams are on the next rows. And then I have my tub. And when I bought my bath bomb rack here, I was worried about losing my tub or losing the need for it. So I have decided to put all of my bag stuff in there. So let me come over here. I have some bath bomb powder left. I have a couple of my snowmen left. And I have my paint your own bath bomb treats in there. And just try to fill it up as best I could. And then this is my rack. I got this on Amazon. I got this white tray thing here. I got that at TSC a couple years ago. And I got my little galvanized buckets from Dollar Tree. I just label them all. Put my prices everywhere. Everything has a price on it as best I can. So this is the aisle I was talking about. So I turned my table skirt, it's my old one with my old logo, but I turn it backwards so that people walking here can see. I do have some things here so people walking here can see. And I have everything on this shelf turned facing this aisleway. Just this last row here is facing this aisleway on all of my products. And then I have a sign, testers inside booth, try creams and smell the scrubs. Same thing up here. I have some men's products here that I have facing out, just so people can kind of see what is available to them. I don't have much facing out this way, but... And then I have that sign so people can see when they're walking, but I have changed that and made it a little bit bigger and added car diffusers. Gosh, I really want lights. I'm not sure how to get lights on this thing, but there's my new car diffuser sign, bigger. And these, on the candles, those are all the testers that I have. I ran out of my warm vanilla, so I'm going to be making some more of that this week to restock next week when I come back. I took a moment and unscrewed all my tops for all the testers, and I go ahead and put the sticks in there. I find that if I don't put the sticks in there ahead of time, people don't actually try them, even though I have like this little paper towel piece. People tend to notice that those are testers and notice that they're allowed to use those when the sticks are already in there. So there's the new sign I have that I had added the car diffusers. So I took my old sign, since this is open to the crowd, and I just put it on the back. I've been meaning to buy a sign for the back of that shelving unit for a long time. Lastly, I almost forgot to show you, this is my table. This is just like that 4-foot table I was telling you about. I have an old tablecloth that I covered up just so it doesn't look too janky. I've got a box of bags there, some ready for me to stamp, coffee, afternoon coffee, just the general stuff. I've got a box over there full of odds and ends that I bring, but this is just kind of my workstation. I love it. I love being able to have this here. I am getting ready to go to my second craft show of the year this weekend. I went shopping. I found at Hobby Lobby folding display racks. I'm so excited to give this a try. I spent $180 on 4 of these racks. All right, I thought I would show you before we pack up the car. I have a couple of my display shelves here that are all folded up. So here's one of them. It's just a black tray, but it's just this black thing here, and that's upside down. Lily, I mean, it just folds up so nice. So that's what it looks like when it is all like unfolded or put together. And then I have these corner pieces. Folds up super thin. There's the other one. I have 2. And it just unfolds like that. And it's a 3-corner shelf. And I have 2 of those that I'm going to put right next to each other. All right, guys, I got to get the rest of this out and in my car, so I will show it to you when they are full of products. There is those 2. I'm on a corner again. There's my creams and creams and butters. I'll have a lot more room actually, and a lot more table room. And then these are lotions and some shower steamers. And then my scrubs. And so it's a little tight. I think the 8-foot table is going to work better on this side. So guys, that was a super long one. So I'm going to keep this very short. First couple of shows are under my belt. I'm loving my new display shelves. I really like that I can fold them up and get them in the car so much easier than those other things that would not fold. I feel like switching the tables, or actually the products probably, putting those on my longer 8-foot table will give me a little bit more room for my tub. I mean, I think that's it. I know I cut out an awful lot of this video. Hopefully it's not too jumbled and it makes some sense. If there's anything you want me to expand on and you want its own video, let me know. I can always do repeat videos for you guys, especially the newer ones that maybe didn't watch all of the old stuff. But anyways, I'm keeping this short, right? So shut up. Like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And then guys, give me a comment and I'll see you next week. Bye.